Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. If I decide to do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do them. It's not fucking hard. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Getting over a breakup with that bitch. She's gone now. I'm going to miss her. That's a shame. Off to the gym. You either control your mind or you don't. It's something you can do. It's something that is learned. It's something that is taught. When men went to Europe and saw unspeakable horrors at the end of World War II, did they all come home and need therapy, or did they all come home and get back to life? Because everyone was taught to have a mind that they control because they needed it to survive. There's no one else. I'm not saying they didn't see bad things. I'm not saying it's not hard. That's life. Like, I've seen shit. We've all had our trauma. You have to get through it. I believe in love. I believe in men and women being in love. I'm not going to let her take the piss out of me. I'm not going to let her walk over my standards or my boundaries. I'm a man. I love you with all my heart. And I said, you're not going to the club with your girls. I want to go. Then we're over. You overstepped the line. Goodbye. If I let her go to the club with her girls all the time, how long is it until she meets a new dude and cheats on me anyway? You're going to lose her anyway. So why not lose her as a man, sticking to your fucking guns instead of losing her 7 months later behind your back? But people are so scared of the emotions. That's all it is. No one's going to shoot them in the head. They're scared of the emotions of missing her. You're scared of emotions to the point you let a bitch run your fucking life? And this is the world we're in today.
But I'm going to sit here and once again explain to you how different the world is when you have a mind which isn't warped and affected easily by outside influences. This has nothing to do with not feeling emotions. This has nothing to do with just becoming an empty, emotionless void of a person. That's not what this is. This is about understanding that you're a human being, you're going to feel emotions, and making sure that you use them in the correct way. And B, you do not ever let them stop you doing what you're supposed to do. I say to people often, I haven't felt like going to the gym in 2 years. I have not woke up and felt like, oh, I really want to train. I haven't felt that way in a long time. That's why I retired from fighting. But I have still gone and I have still trained regardless of how I feel. The idea that you need to be constantly motivated shows how weak your mindset is. I don't need motivation to go to the gym because I use my cerebral ability. I use my mind and I logically decide what I'm going to do with my day regardless of how I feel. Life is just getting things done, doing the right things, doing the important things, making sure they're done efficiently and thoroughly so that you live the best possible life. It's as simple as that. It's not particularly complicated. Because if you have a mindset that doesn't allow you to fail, then you're simply going to win. There's no other option. I don't believe that you need motivation to get things done. I'm not going to sit here and just talk a whole bunch of motivational things to make you feel good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the things I always did that allowed me to put together the mindset I currently have. If you look at any story with a hero in it, they all have one thing in common. And that thing is that there's always a villain. Any book you can think of, any movie, there's always a good guy and there's a bad guy. As a man, life is going to be difficult. It's more difficult than being a woman. It's more difficult than anything else. Life is actually easier as a whole if you see yourself as a hero. Because in every single hero story, the hero suffers. And if you understand that you're suffering because you're a hero, then the suffering begins to make sense. You've seen the Batman movies. His parents died. He was locked up in jail. All these bad things happen, and then they emerge as the hero. So right now, you have to understand that you're the hero in this movie, and how you handle these struggles and how you deal with these struggles are going to decide the kind of person you're going to be afterwards. You're either going to be a superhero or you're going to succumb to them and you're going to fail. The second thing is there has to be a villain. Now, most people think their villain is someone else. People look at other people and say, oh, that guy has this guy has this, and they become envious and they think that's the villain. That's not the case because every single person has different circumstances. There are things you have that I don't have, and there's things I have that you don't have. So comparing yourself to other people is asinine, and it's inane because it's not a level, fair playing ground. Your villain is someone you're going to create. And you're going to create your villain because he's going to motivate you to be the most powerful hero you can possibly be. Your villain is going to be a clone of you. And your villain is going to be the person without requirement for motivation. No matter how he feels that day, your villain is going to be the guy who always does exactly what he wants to do. Regardless of how he feels, regardless if he's not motivated or not, regardless if he's shy to talk to that girl or people are watching or his ankle hurts, he doesn't want to go to the gym, your villain is that dude who does anything he wants to do. You just sit there and say, if I did everything I wanted to do, if I were to be the best version of myself possible, what would I do? Okay, well, I'd go to the gym every day. I'd get up at 6 a.m. and I'd go to the gym every day. You write that down. I'd start a side business. Even though I don't know anything about it, I'd learn how to make websites. My villain's the kind of guy who reads really important books. I say I don't have time, but my enemy, this villain, he reads books. He finds time. He doesn't waste time ever. He doesn't eat junk food. He reads books. You have to make a list. This is who you're battling against. You're battling against a better version of yourself, a version of yourself that doesn't succumb to how he feels, but does what he's supposed to do anyway. You have to imagine what he looks like, imagine how he walks, imagine how he talks, imagine what people think when they see him. Imagine how differently people would look at you. Imagine how differently females would treat you if you were jacked like that guy would be. So you have to put genuine effort into constructing this person and understanding this person. This is what motivates me every single day. When I understood who I was truly battling against, then you have two choices. You either rise up to try and take him on, or you become a little pussy. This man I've created and I've built, do I want to lose to him, or do I want to beat him or compete with him? And the crazy thing about all of this person is you. It's just you with a little bit of a different path or a different take on life. It's you who's the person who does whatever he's supposed to do regardless of how he feels. It's you with an iron mind. And when you truly, truly put this person together and you truly, truly understand him, you're going to become far more difficult to demotivate. It's going to be much harder for someone to say to you, don't go to the gym, because you're going to know this dude's going to the gym. That's why he looks how he looks. And that's who I'm being compared to. I'm not the guy who's going to let this man beat me. I still do it to this day. I compare my bank balance to this guy's and he's killing me. I compare my body to this guy's, he's killing me. You guys may look at me and go, oh, Tate, millionaire, girls, this, that, that. I'm still comparing myself to this person I've created. And I know that I'm losing. That's how I do whatever it takes to succeed, because I know who I'm battling against. Most of you guys have no enemy. Or you have an enemy which is somebody else. That's pointless. Or you have no enemy at all. You have a support structure around you and you have people say, oh, you're great just the way you are. You know, you're beautiful just the way you are. And you're sitting there living in your little comfort zone like a little bitch. Your enemy is the version of you which doesn't take shit. Your enemy is the version of you which goes to the gym every single day. And if you've done this correctly, then what you should be doing by now is thinking of him permanently. He should be crossing your mind with every single thing you do. And this is why it's important to develop an ego. Egos are extremely important. Egos are a natural human thing and they're extremely important. And the modern world tells men to not have an ego. And they do that because it makes you weak and easy to control. You can only have an iron mind if you are so sure of yourself, so egotistical that nobody can break it. Now, for the first lesson, we built your enemy and we built this perfect person you're going to be battling against. And there's a very specific reason we did it based on a version of you. One, because it shows who you could be. But the other reason is also because if your ego is based around beating this person, you get to go through life and be a nice guy to everyone else. I'm a nice guy to everyone I meet because they're not my enemy. But I do have a massive ego. But my ego comes into play when I'm fighting against my enemy. And this person is who you could be. That's what's the most annoying thing about it. This person's outlifting you in the gym. They're making more money. They're fucking their wife better. They got more girls. They're rolling around a nicer car. This could be you, but it's not you. Only because you don't have the motivation to do what this individual does. Most people's egos work against them. And the way it works against them is they feel entitled. They wake up and they think, oh, I deserve a nice car. I'm a special person. I deserve a nice car. That is not the right way to use an ego. So this person who you've built, your enemy, he has a nice car because he has worked harder than you have. Whose fault is that? There should be no reason, no excuse for you to not do everything that you believe you need to do to be the best person you can be if you've properly created this enemy. And your ego should stop you from wanting to lose. Otherwise, day after day after day, you are losing to this individual. This individual is beating you. You can't let that happen. Your ego is extremely important. And you only have one person you're competing against. And it's the person you created, which is nothing more than a better version of yourself. The fact that you can still sit and watch TV means you need to go back to the first video, start again, and do it properly, and do it well enough so that you can no longer sit still. You need to get your shit together. And if you do that properly, you'll start to feel nervous. You'll imagine the version of you that is as amazing as they could be, and then you look at yourself and realize that you're failing. Now, when you feel anxious, there's only one thing you can do. You can either sit there and be anxious like a little girl, or you can put some things in action. I was nervous before every single fight, and that's when I fought the best. I was afraid of losing. And you need to be afraid of losing day by day throughout your life. Now, if you go to the gym and you beat your personal best, let's say the most you've ever benched is 100 kilo. You go there, you bench 105 kilo. That's the only day you're allowed to claim a victory. But if you're not beating your personal best, he is beating you. And that should inspire you to try and smash through your own records day after day after day. The most money you've ever made in a month. The most weight you've ever lifted. It doesn't matter what goals you set. You have to understand that you're going to spend a lot of time losing. And all this time you're spending losing is going to damage your ego, and that's going to make you anxious and unhappy and nervous. And you're going to put all that nervous energy into smashing your personal records so you have those days of victory. Everything compounds. People say to me, oh, Tate, how did you become successful? I can't tell you the one thing that made me successful. I was always driven, motivated. I understood how to make good connections. I looked after the people who looked after me. I always knew what the right thing to do was. I didn't drink for many years of my life. And it all comes together to success. It's not about one thing. A lot of people go through life with a very average attitude to life, and they wait for their one big break. If you're hoping for a big break, you may as well just keep buying the lottery tickets. It's a change of mindset that's going to allow you to put together 1,000 tiny victories. And the change of mindset is simply understanding that there's a version of you that exists somewhere in the multiverse, which is much better than you are right now. Purely because they don't get lazy, don't watch TV, don't waste their time. They have an iron mind.
One of the major things Shoaff taught me when I met him, he said, poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shoaff taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. He quoted me a Bible phrase that says, as you think, so you become. How awesome. The guy says, I want to be a great leader. Wonderful. The first thing we do is follow him to his house. We walk in and check his library. Somebody says, well, why check his library? The reason is because what a man reads pours massive ingredients into his mental factory, and the fabric of his life is built from those ingredients. You would not believe what some people have got in their house to read. One of the best dressed up words I know for a lot of it is trash. Can you imagine dumping a barrel of trash into this mental factory every day and coming out with a rich, dynamic, positive life? It can't be done. You might as well try making a cake with cement. Mr. Shoaff gave me one of the greatest phrases when I first met him when he said, Jim, every day stand guard at the door of your mind. How important. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the result.
You must be willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. See, very few people go to seminars and workshops. They'll go to a concert, but showing up to get something that can expand their minds and give them a larger vision of themselves, they'll be too busy. Or they say, well, how much does it cost? Well, information costs, but it pays for itself. It's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have the mindset that I'm going to do this. People that make it in this life, they look around for the circumstances that they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. You got to increase your energy in order to live your dreams. You can't be casual about your dreams. Bill Bailey said, if you're casual about your dream, you'll end up a casualty. When you look at your goals and look at where you want to go, you want to set some high standards for yourself. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail.
Everyone's partying, everyone's slacking off, everyone's negative. You're not everyone. Could it be the reason you're not seeing favor is you're being common? Is you've let society squeeze you into its mold? It's time to break out of that mold. You may be surrounded by people that are lazy, not going anywhere. Don't let that keep you from your destiny. You've been set apart. Now do your part and don't live common.
God made you different. People pay you to be different. Weird people make money. Regular people make regular money. If you focusing on being regular, you're going to have a regular life. It's nothing wrong with that. But if you aspire to something more than regular, you got to go be extraordinary. You ain't got to be like everybody else.
I believe that Dr. Peel was right. Always strive to get on top in life because the bottom is overcrowded. I believe if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy.